Enhance your general knowledge on African continent. African continent is the second largest continent, after Asian continent in both area and population. African continent has the most number of countries, which is 54. African continent is located as follows. North, by Mediterranean Sea. South, by Atlantic and Indian Oceans. East, by Red Sea and Indian Ocean, and west, by Atlantic Ocean. Mediterranean Sea, and the Strait of Gibraltar, separate Africa from Europe. The African continent is cut almost equally in two by the equator, so that most of Africa lies within the tropical region, bounded on the north by the Tropic of Cancer, and on the south by the Tropic of Capricorn. The greater part of Africa's territory lies north of the equator. Strait of Gibraltar is the channel connecting the Mediterranean Sea with the Atlantic Ocean. It is lying between Spain in Europe and Morocco in Africa. The Isthmus of Suez in eastern Egypt connects the continents of Africa and Asia, and separates the Mediterranean and Red Seas. The Suez Canal is a man-made waterway in Egypt, connecting Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea through the Isthmus of Suez, dividing Africa and Asia. Algeria is the largest country with 2.38 million square kilometers in extent. Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa, followed by Ethiopia at the second place. Lagos, in Nigeria, is the most populated city in Africa as of 2022, with an estimated population of roughly 15.4 million. The population in Seychelles is around 80,000 people and is the least populated country in the African continent. River Nile is the longest river in Africa and the world. It flows across 11 countries and empties into the Mediterranean Sea from Egypt. River Nile starts from Lake Victoria, which is the largest lake in Africa, and also the largest tropical lake in the whole world. It is surrounded by Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda. Sahara, in Africa, is the largest hot desert, and the third largest desert in the world, after Antarctica and the Arctic. Mount Kilimanjaro, a dormant volcano in Tanzania, is the highest mountain in Africa, and the highest single freestanding mountain in the world. Which means, it is not a part of a mountain range. Mount Kilimanjaro stands 5,895 meters above sea level. The Cape of Good Hope is located at the southern tip of the Cape Peninsula, which is also home to Cape Town, the legislative capital of South Africa. The Cape was originally named the Cape of Storms in the 1480s by the Portuguese explorer, Bartolomeu Dias. Cape Agulhas is the southernmost point of the African continent. This is, in fact, not the Cape of Good Hope, as is often mistakenly believed. Lesotho is an independent country, with the unique characteristic of being totally surrounded by a single country, its neighbor, the Republic of South Africa. Lesotho was formerly known as Basutoland, and renamed to the Kingdom of Lesotho upon independence from the UK, in 1966. Somalia has the longest coastline in mainland Africa with 3,333 kilometers coastline. Overall, Somalia comes second to Madagascar, an island which has coastline of 4,828 kilometers. South Africa comes third with 2,798 kilometers. Madagascar is the largest island in the African continent, and it lies just off the east coast of Africa. It has a length of around 1,000 miles with a width of around 350 miles. Madagascar is also the fourth largest island in the world. The Mozambique Channel is in the Indian Ocean and located between the island nation Madagascar and Mozambique in the African mainland. River Congo, formerly also known as the Zaire River, is the second longest river in Africa, and the world's deepest river. This is also the second largest river in the world by discharge volume, following only the Amazon. The Congo Basin surrounds the equator, with the river crossing the equator twice, in about a 700-mile-long, 1,100 kilometers stretch. The Niger River is the main river of West Africa, extending about 4,180 kilometers. River Niger is the third longest river in Africa, after Nile and Congo. The river discharges at the Niger Delta in Nigeria, which flows into the Atlantic Ocean, via the Gulf of Guinea. The Zambezi River is the fourth longest river in Africa, the longest east-flowing river in Africa and the largest flowing into the Indian Ocean from Africa. This river starts from Zambia, and flows through Angola, along the northeastern border of Namibia and the northern border of Botswana, then along the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe to Mozambique where it crosses the country to empty into the Indian Ocean. One of Africa's top tourist attractions, Victoria Falls is neither the widest or tallest waterfall in the world. But it is sometimes considered the world's biggest waterfall because it is both tall, 354 feet, and wide, 5,600 feet, producing the overall biggest sheet of falling water. It is located about midway along the course of the Zambezi River, at the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe. Tegela Falls is the highest waterfall in Africa. It is located on the Tegela River in the Republic of South Africa. Tegela Falls is 3,110 feet, 948 meters high. Only Angel Falls, 3,212 feet, 979 meters, in Venezuela is higher. The Atlas mountain range stretches 1,600 kilometers from Western Sahara through Morocco, Algeria and Tunisia, and is the longest unbroken range in Africa. The Aswan Dam, since the 1960s, the Aswan High Dam, is one of the world's largest embankment dams, which was built across the River Nile in Aswan, Egypt, between 1960 and 1970. Its significance largely eclipsed the previous Aswan Low Dam, initially completed in 1902 downstream. The Aswan Dam created a huge reservoir, called Lake Nasser. Thank you for watching. The Smart Cookie.